And when I was in high school, they started up this uh, like this like I don't know how you call it, but just like film studies in my high school. It was the first year that they had it, and I said, okay, it sounds interesting. And then I just I just started studying about filmmaking, and I loved films before, but I didn't know that was what I was going to do. I always thought I was going to be an artist of some sort. And when I sort of I fell in love with it right away, and I knew from the age of 17 that I was going to be a filmmaker. It was something I knew.
So tell me a little bit about the Sam Spiegel's film school, because we do get um, people sending us their films, short films from the school, all the time. So tell us a little bit of, we haven't talked to a filmmaker who's been at that school. So tell me a little bit about the school.
Okay, first I have to say that I finished in Sam Spiegel 2012, so it's a while back, right? But it's a very intense experience to be in Sam Spiegel because they demand a lot out of you, and you really need to um, be there completely and to be into it and to delve yourself into this world of filmmaking. And I think the best thing for me about school was the people that I met there that became friends and colleagues, and that I still turn to when I need help or when I want an opinion about something. So I have these people around me that we went this in this path together. And one of the best things about the school is that the people that are studying there are just wonderful and very, very talented. So you get on the road with these extremely talented people, and you just want to be the best you can all the way.
So I found a bio on you online, and it said that your work is going to focus on human emotions and the interactions of people. Why
Mhm.
that sort of genre? What draws you to that?
Uh, well, I think that's what life's about, in a way. I mean, we are uh, we are driven by emotions. That is our world, and I think that's what storytelling tries to do. We try to touch people's emotions, and I work with that, and I'm interested in that because this is how I see life, and this is what's important to me. The relationship between people. And how it evolves and changes, and I think when you look at life, and especially if you look at the times that we're living in, eventually what's most important to you is the people that are around you, and the people that you love. And I think that's not only true to now, but to every time and place. And it's something that's uh, worldwide, and we all are part of it. So I think all filmmakers deal with emotions in that sense or another.
So this is your first feature film, and you've
Hmm.
done a lot of editing. What's
Right.
what's the difference between actually being the filmmaker and editing maybe someone else's work?
I think first of all, it's a responsibility. When you're an editor, of course, you have responsibility towards your director, and you work with them, and you have these ideas, and you try to put them in. But when you're a director, especially when the way I was with Asia, which is I was a writer and director, everything is on me. There's no one that I can turn to and say, okay, you do that, you do that. Okay, I work with other people, but at the end of the day, people come to me and ask me, why do you want it that way and not the other? And I need to be the one that's giving the answers, and I have to hold everything inside of me. Um, and I'm the leader of the film. I take all the people that are working with me, and I lead them through the way that I feel the film should be. And when you're an editor, you're part of the team, but you don't have to lead the way. And It's a very difficult task, but I think it's also very rewarding. So I love it.
How long did it take to make the film from start to finish?
Wow, starting the writing process was about, I would say I started it 2013, and we came out with the film in 2020. So that makes 7
7 years.
years. Yeah. We also had to, we would probably have made it shorter. Like it could have been a shorter time, but during that time of 7 years, I had my uh, first child, and I got pregnant while we were in pre-production, and we could not find insurance companies that would insure the production with a pregnant director. So I had to postpone filming for a year, which was very, very disappointing for me, but also it really changed the film. So uh, I guess it was a blessing in disguise. So
Because you came back as a mother.
yeah, and it changed the whole way I saw the film, because before, while I was writing it, I was writing it. Okay, it was a film about motherhood, but from the perspective of a daughter. But when I became a mother myself and experienced the this this enormous thing, which is motherhood, then it changed me, and it changed the way I saw the film.
So tell us about working with Shira Haas, because she's like the hottest thing in coming out of Israel right now.
Yeah, I know. I realize. um, well, first of all, I have to say that Shira is obviously extremely talented actress. And when we started working together, it was before Unorthodox, obviously. And but she was still very well known in Israel and has done a bunch of stuff before. And although she's young, but she's very professional, and it's wonderful looking at her and seeing how she changes things while we're working. If we would have rehearsals and we would do one scene, and then I would tell her, okay, let's do it from a different angle. Let's try to do it different, and she would be able to change so much in just a few minutes. It's amazing to watch it and to just see her work. It's incredible.
So when you were writing the film, did you have her in mind to play the character?
I don't think when I started writing the film, I'm not sure I even knew her. I think it was before she started acting. But definitely the first time I saw her in film, I said, okay, she might be good for the part. I didn't know for sure, because I have to say that at first, when we started to cast Vika, we wanted someone that is really from a Russian origin, which she is not. She's born in Israel, and she doesn't. Her parents are not Russian, and she doesn't speak Russian. But we searched a lot for Russian teenagers that would be able to fit the part, and I have to say that she was the only one that could do it. After searching quite a long time, we came back to her because she was an option from the very beginning, and we said, okay, we can't find anyone that would do it better than her. And we also, I have to say that if we talk about casting, we really wanted the main thing that we were looking for is a mother and daughter that would look alike and that would be able to look like a real mother and daughter. And that is something that a lot of times in films we sort of put aside and we say, okay, they don't really look like one another, but it's okay, we believe it. And I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted the film to feel real in that sense, to have a mother and daughter that really look like a mother and daughter and that even look like sisters. And when we and that's how the casting played out, because we first looked for Asya for the role of the mother, and then we sort of tried to find who could resemble her. So this was a very tricky thing to do, and that's why we couldn't really know till the ending which actresses would go together. But I have to say that from the very first time that we saw Alona and Sheila together, the two actresses, it was it was
It was Bashert.
yes, it was just like the chemistry and the way that they looked and everything just felt so right. So it was obvious that this was what we were looking for. And after that, it was okay, we found it.
How
Yeah.
did you get the idea to write this story? I mean, it's a sad story. I mean, it's sad, but did you have any ties to a person with this type of illness, or
The type of illness, no. It came from my experience, but in a different sort of way. I've experienced a great loss in my life, someone very close, and dealing with that made me look at things that had to do with dealing with someone that is dying by your side. And I was looking at it first to to understand how to deal with that myself. And I work on this issue through I've made a bunch of films, short films about the subject. And in Asia, I was looking at it in a different angle, and the angle of a caregiver, of someone who is taking care of an ill person, and that is different from what I've done previously. I'm not sure why I took that direction specifically, because I'm not. It wasn't someone that I knew that had ALS or a disease that is on that spectrum. But I was looking for what kind of disease was progressive, and that's why I chose this one. Or in general, I have to say, I decided very early on that this is not going to be a film about a disease. It's going to be a film about a relationship, and that's why they never say in the film what Vika has. Not the doctor, and not us, and not Vika. They never talk about it, and that is because it was beside the point. It was really a film about mother and daughter, about the love that they're able to share by the end of Vika's life, and the way the relationship evolves. So this is what I wanted to write about, and it comes from, yeah, from my experience in a way, but not directly. It's a very long answer.
no, that's fine. I mean, I know that there are medical studies in Israel. Actually, you brought up ALS, and they are doing studies and excuse me, experimental treatments to actually help with the decreasing the progress of that specific disease. So I just wondered if there was some backstory to that.
Yeah.
But so Susan asked, is assisted suicide legal in Israel?
No, it's illegal in Israel. Um, it's interesting that this question is asked, because I've never been asked that question, and we've been having this Q&As for a few months, and I've never been asked about the ending of the film, which is kind of, I talked about it today with my partner, and we said it was very strange because it was a very controversial ending with the
Mhm.
script. I've had a lot of comments about that, and I think that maybe because people watch the film and they're so get attached to the characters that they don't look at the political issue that comes up with it. So no, it's illegal, but you don't really get to address that in the film. You don't know what will happen next with Asya and how she's going to deal with that legally.
Right. So did you get pushback from any governmental agencies? I know that the government supports filmmaking in Israel. You get money from
Yeah.
so was there an issue with that ending? I mean, do they watch the films before you're actually able to put them out to the public and critique them
They
or
watch
anything?
they watch them, and they also read the script. But it's not something that it's not like a government. It is government funding, but it doesn't mean that you can't show something that's illegal.
Right.
So
Let's see. What are you hoping people leave with after watching the film?
um, I think what I would like most for people to end the film and want to hug the people that are closest to them and keep as they can and realize that their time with them is not very long, although they might not be sick. I hope not. But it's still our time with our loved ones is very precious, and we need to um, take it and use it and do what's most important and in our lives in general, and not only before we are facing death. And I think Asya realizes it on time with Vika. She understands that she needs to be there for her, that she needs to spend time with her, and that's something that she didn't do before or that she wasn't able to do. But for me, what I'd like to do is to be able to live here and now and do what's most important for me in life.
If you were mentoring a young filmmaker, what would you tell them are the really important things that they should be working on or looking towards?
I think you need to be very truthful to yourself and to know what you want to tell, and to be, on one hand, to be able to listen to advices that you get along the way, but still listen to yourself first of all, because that's what will get you to the film that you want to make. Because if you take in all the advices that you're going to hear, you're going to lose the way, and it's a very, very, very long way to go. So be patient and listen, but don't listen if you don't want to.
What are you working on now, or what are your plans for the future? What's the next film from Ruthie?
Well, I'm actually working on two more films. One is a film that's based here in Israel, and it's with a 60-year-old farmer. A completely different story from Asia. And another one is actually based in the US. So I might be coming to film in the US hopefully soon. Yeah,
I don't know, or if we're accepting people. I
have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon can be 2 years. Yeah, when you talk about film.
Exactly.
But it's with an American production company, and we're working on it.
So is it about Israeli people in America,
No,
or it's just totally departure?
no. It has nothing to do with Israelis in America. It just
Just
happened to be
totally
set
different.
in the US. Yeah.
So someone said the mother's role in the movie was as a caregiver for so many people, the patients, her neighbors. She was a real hero. It must have been, it must have been difficult. Like if in real life, being a caregiver, that's your job, and then having to go home and care for someone as well.
Yeah, and that's what when I started writing the script, I felt like this was a mother that was a person that cares so much for other people that in a way she's unable to care for her own daughter because this is her job and this is her work, and in a way because she knows her daughter is dying, she doesn't want to face that, and she pushes her daughter away. So when she is at the end able to care for her, it's a complete she just sinks herself completely into that role. It becomes her. She's not a person that is a caregiver. She's completely caring and giving. So this was what I was looking for in that character. Yeah.
Did you do any research? And I know the film doesn't specifically say ALS, but did you do research into exactly the changes that would occur over the course of the film in physically and mentally?
Yeah, we had to because as I said before, I didn't want it to be a film about a disease, but I also didn't want people to start thinking, okay, this doesn't make sense. So what we did, we had a doctor that was he's the head of the department for ALS in Jerusalem in Odessa Hospital where we filmed, and he read the script and he made remarks and we would talk about things and he met Sheila and we went together and we did some testing on how it looked and she would show him like this, like she would show him the hands and he said, no, you have to do it like that. And we were really working on every single movement that would be authentic to this disease, although again, we didn't say the name of the disease, but we did want it to feel real. And I think Sheila did an incredible job in that.
Yeah, she's amazing. So is she just a dramatic actress? Have you seen her in any? I've only ever seen her in Stitzel and Unorthodox, and we've also during this film festival are showing Breaking Bread, which not Breaking Bread, Broken Mirrors, which
Oh,
she's
okay.
also in,
Mm-hmm.
and also a very difficult part. I mean, aside from Stitzel, these last three things that she's done have been really what I would say difficult kind of topics to deal with. So, I mean, is she fun and lighthearted outside of being these roles of very serious actresses?
She's she's a lot of fun to work with. I can say that she has a great sense of humor and she's really funny. And but she has this weight on her shoulders in a way, like you can see it. She's very young but very mature, and I think that's what makes her a great dramatic actress, and that's why she's sort of driven to these roles of women that go through a deep change in them.
And she did suffer from a serious illness as a child.
The child, yes, and I think it really connected her with Vika, with the role of Vika. She knew what it meant to be to have something like that on your shoulders. So
Jill said your understated treatment of your characters, particular Asia, was so effective.
thank you.
And yeah, and then Susan wanted to know, is ALS common in young people? Yes, it unfortunately is common.
I mean, it is
I don't know
common.
that it's
From what I've researched, it is common. It's not as common as like a 30-year-old or 40-year-old.
Right.
I think they get it more. I think it's not like but it can happen when you're 16 or 17.
right.
It's not the majority, but it can happen.
And dealing with this illness, and then also being a teenager and being a teenager, you're just in and of itself is a difficult period of life. So then to be able to portray this sick teenager, and I imagine she drew from her own experience.
Yeah, and we've also we've met with some ALS patients and heard from them about their experiences and how they deal with life and saw them in their daily lives. So we had some things to get inspiration from.
Was it done all in Jerusalem, or did you travel around?
No, it was all shot in Jerusalem. It was all basically around the same neighborhood, and yeah, it was it was a great experience shooting there. I mean, for us, and I think visually, Jerusalem, it's not a neighborhood that you see a lot, but it's a great place to shoot in.
I've only been there once. I'm waiting to come back. I don't know if we can travel yet. So, how actually has COVID affected filming and production and all that stuff in Israel?
Well, a lot of production has been postponed. Nothing is really back to normal yet. So I guess it's going to take a while. Luckily, we finished the film before it hit. I mean, luckily, and I don't know. We were supposed to premiere in Tribeca. We did premiere in Tribeca, but it was online. It was a one of the first films to go online virtually. We ended up winning 3 awards, which was very, um, very exciting, but also very strange because I was at home with my 2 kids and all through like the diaper changing and trying to play games with them and keep them busy. And it was just like, okay, Tribeca and everything was just very, very hectic because we were in lockdown while the festival was going on. So everything changed for me in the film world and the way I thought I was going to uh, come out with a film because obviously the whole world changed. So Tribeca was a good start, and then we had a bunch of other festivals, but I haven't actually been uh, seeing how people react to the film live.
Right.
We only had, I think, a few screenings for the Academy Awards in Israel, and we were allowed to make some screenings, but they were very small, and that's the only place that I could see how people react live to the film. But I'm really
You're
looking
the
forward to.
third filmmaker that I have interviewed in the course of a few days who their first film has done amazingly well in Tribeca, and you know, they're just shocked, and what a difficult time for, you know, that to happen, but how amazing as well to be a first time filmmaker and be in the premiere festival. So that's really amazing. We had one more question I'm going to get to. What was the purpose of the male aide, companion, lover for Asia or Vika?
What was the purpose? Um, well, it's a good question. I wanted Ася to try to do things for her daughter, like a mother would. And as it is in a way, it's a misguided decision to make to ask someone to have sex with their daughter, no matter how you look at it. But it comes from a place where Asa is so helpless. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to help her daughter. That she does the most extreme thing she can think of, and that is the place I wanted them to go to be Asa and Vika both to be in a place where they need to do extreme actions to get closer to one another, to realize that what they really need is to be together. And this is the reason that this character is in the film. And also, I think he's really sweet.
Yes, he's and very handsome. I
Yeah.
think so. We're pronouncing the name of the film incorrectly in the United
Yeah,
States,
yeah,
aren't we?
yeah. But
I just realized that now.
it's okay, it's fine. I've had it happen a lot of times. I knew it would before the film came out, so it's
Is there a significance to the name then?
um in a way, yes. I mean, her name is ASEAN. It does mean Asia. I mean, it does come from the name of the continent, and it's like she's a mother and she's a continent. I don't know. It made sense symbolically. It's not like something I would say. Okay, this is there's a specific reason that I really love the name. I felt like it was a very motherly name in a way, and very connected and very rooted for someone who's not rooted at all, who's disconnected from her roots. So there are a lot of different reasons, and not a specific one. But I love the name.
It was truly an amazing film. I'm so happy that I got to watch it, and I'm thrilled that we had the time to talk to you and get your thoughts about it. And please keep us updated on what you're working on. We love to bring filmmakers and their films back for the film festival. So definitely keep us posted. For everyone who joined us today, thank you so much. Please visit jccchicago.org. We've got another 2 weeks left of film with more discussions. And thank you so much, Ruthie, for your time. I know it's a little bit later there, so we appreciate it very, very much. The best of luck.
Thank
Please
you.
stay in good health. Lila Tov.
Let's
And
go.
thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for watching and coming here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.